to kick back, relax, and join us at the bar. It's the Boombar on Boom Radio NG. We have the drinks, we have the gist. The guys are in the building, and it's time to go. My name is Shola Rogers.
My name is Ola Deluka, the one and only, you know. And about bid your warm welcome to the bar this very interesting afternoon. You know, today's Thursday, yeah. So I think that it's safe to say that we're counting down to another dispensation, another 4 years dispensation. We're like 4 days away from that, and you know there's been a lot of conversation about a lot of things that was going to happen this final week before the inauguration on Monday. It's very interesting how I think this just has to do with calendar, but the new government literally starts on a Monday, and I'm guessing there should be some form of work that day and not partying. But as we go on, today, basically, one of the things that President Buhari has been slated to do today has been slated to confer national honors on the president-elect and the vice president-elect, which is safe to say that he has done that already. Also, he's supposed to do some transition documents and all that. Those are the things that we're going to be, talking about a little bit today. There's a little bit of conversation. The DSS has something to say about the inauguration as well. Also, I think that there's a biopic, that is supposed to air, I think, tomorrow. There's supposed to be a premiere of it tomorrow of the president-elect. I think is very apt. At the timing is very, is, I won't call it convenient, but it just makes sense to put those things around the same time. So yes, we're going to be talking a lot about that as well. A bit of stories from
so
the court,
many things.
and so basically just wanted to run it down. This was you that always saying that I should always run down some of these things.
No, we're not supposed to run anything
Anyway, now President Buhari has now conferred GCFR and GCON on President-elect Bola Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima.
Yes, it is tradition that they seem to have really decided to follow to the letter. President Buhari, signed an executive order, that more or less makes this a law, the transition from one government to another. And there are certain cultures and ceremonies and things that are supposed to be observed that they have actually observed. And this is actually good because, again, it shows structure. And he, as the president in waiting, Bola Tinubu, becomes the holder of the highest honor in the land, and the vice president gets the one next in line to that. In the case of President Muhammadu Buhari, he already had it, so
Long time ago.
there was no way they could give it to him
There was
again.
no need anymore.
And that's that for that. And it's something that is actually trending on social media. A lot of people now, the supporters of Bola Tinubu are, over the moon. They're happy and they're all over the place. Meanwhile, the supporters of the other major parties, the PDP and the Labour Party, feel aggrieved, and they feel that this shouldn't be happening at all. And why, are they conferring the law on him and all of that? They should wait for the court to decide.
Oh, wow.
And this and that.
Oh, we're still on this matter. Okay.
But there are cases in court, though. Look.
Okay, what I mean by we're still on this matter is not because the cases are not in court. What I meant was that I thought we had passed the stage of inauguration, because we know for a fact.
Can I ask you first? Before you go too far.
Okay.
Who is we?
I won't say we. Like, it's just common sense. Okay, for example, now the Presidential Petition Tribunal is not going to sit. The next time they're sitting is a day after the inauguration, which already means that there's a lot. There would have been an inauguration that would have happened. Would have had a new president already at that point. There won't be a conversation of president-elect anymore. That's one. Two, remember that each petitioning party has been given 3 weeks to that's at least another 6 weeks to add to each person's conversation.
But also remember that the cases have been merged.
Yes, but each person still has 3 weeks to still, So, and then there's also the APC and INEC coming back with their own defense, and and all that. That alone, where we're looking at it, is still is going to take at least 2 to 3 months. So I'm not saying that. What I meant is that I'm not saying that these things are not going to happen or whatever the outcome of the court. I'm just saying that where I think that we are past the stage of inauguration should not happen, because it's not even just federal. I'm not even sure there is any. Maybe a few states, because I'm not sure I've heard anyone coming from like Borno State or something. But almost all states in Nigeria, almost all governors have a case hanging over their heads.
Okay, so
are you saying that the governors too should not be inaugurated?
Nobody's at the governorship level. Let the people who have issues with them face them. But at the presidential level, there are a lot of people that have issues with whatever is happening. In fact, there's supposed to be a Supreme Court judgment on Friday.
Tomorrow, yes.
That a lot of people are looking forward to. They see it as something that might even prevent the inauguration from taking place. So if you speak logically. But again, the people who are also speaking are being logical on their own part too, because that's what they believe in.
That's
it's logic.
No. Belief is there's a difference between belief
there's a case
and logic.
at the court. It's Supreme Court.
There is a difference between belief and
we all know
logic.
that you can go anyway. It's the
it
Supreme
can
Court.
go anyway. These cases have been thrown out by the High Court and by the Appeal Court. Honestly, if we're going by logic, I don't see any miracle happening coming out of the Supreme Court tomorrow. But let's even leave that aside. When we talk about logic, then let's talk about reality. And the reality on ground is that the president-elect, whoever it is, whether it was done constitutionally or not, the president-elect, as announced by INEC, with whatever happens tomorrow, at the moment, according to what the president had signed, he was there conferred with the national honors. I've been seeing a lot of conversation around it. In fact, I saw a few people talking about how the president-elect never fought for any, or he never wanted any national honors, and then from not getting the national honor to getting the highest national honor from what's it called. Everybody has had a lot of things to say. Yes, do I agree? You might be aggrieved, but I think that even with being aggrieved, we should add a bit of common sense to it. I'm just saying, like, let's be realistic. It's the ceremonies are not going to stop because of the presidential. If I remember correctly, just a few months ago, there was a particular case that the PDP presidential candidate for 2019, and of course the one for 2023 as well, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, was pursuing at the courts. And just a few months ago, this was just a few months before President Buhari was going to end his administration, that was when there was the final Supreme Court judgment on that matter. At this point, he had already done about 7.5 years. So are we going to say that because there was a case in court, for 7.5 years, we're not going to have a president?
So again, the fact that
just add logic to some of this.
The fact that something has gone a certain way does not stop people from, seeing it in a different
maybe
light.
I think that people are being sentimental about it. You might not like it, or you might not like the person, but sadly, we run a government that says it is democracy. And what is democracy? Democracy is the majority carries the vote.
Yes. So the majority carries the vote does not mean
that everybody would agree.
Everybody would agree. As we speak, the powerhouse or the leading light of democracy in the world remains the U.S. And the Republican candidate and former president has still not accepted the fact that he lost that election.
Yeah.
So that is democracy for you still. That regardless, of course, they went ahead with their own inauguration and everything went on as scheduled.
He didn't even attend.
He didn't attend. He didn't
attend.
hand over.
Still,
he didn't do any of them things.
President
right?
Joe Biden is done more than
he's almost out for 4 years.
He's almost out. So it doesn't change what happens. That's where I'm coming from. Like, let's be realistic with some
but
of
that
these
also
things.
doesn't stop people from believing that the courts could change the course of everything.
We'll see.
I need, of course, we need to look at things from different people's angles and their beliefs and their expectations. A lot of people are saying that the case tomorrow, the PDP case at the Supreme Court, would be the game changer. Some people are even going. Look, I read a lot of comments. I try to follow all the top comment makers, or shall I say influencers, from the APC to the PDP to Labour Party, and even some other lesser parties. I'm sorry I used lesser without any form of disrespect. And there's this recurring decimal. Like, if you see one APC person write something, about 10 other APC people are going to write the same thing. The same thing with PDP. You see, if a PDP person, like maybe Daniel Bawala says something now, a lot of them will retweet, re-echo, and even post it as if they're the ones that have written it originally. It's the same thing with Labour Party. I've seen a lot of them say things like, there's a particular angle. The guy was saying, that the same military that did something to stop MKO would be the one to stop Tinubu, and I'm like, yeah. So people are even saying that people need to be careful the kind of comments that they make.
We should calm down with the kind of things that we say.
And that has also led
and I'm like, okay,
the DSS and the police to come up with different, statements.
Yeah.
They're even talking about new, what's it called now? God. They're talking about new plots.
Oh yeah.
To truncate the inauguration.
And I was not, when I saw that news, especially on the Twitter page of the DSS. First things was DSS. I think that people need to get your page verified. $8 is not too expensive. You're a government organization. I'm sure at some point you're supposed to be able to request for those things. And even if you cannot,
the federal government should be able to do it collectively for all their
that's
people.
What I'm saying. DSS is something that should be able to do it by themselves. That's, if they can't pay for this thing, you people should stop this nonsense you are doing on social media. I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, talking about the statement that he put out there, I'm kind of not surprised as to what came out, or the story that we saw about it, because there's been a lot of agitation, and the honest truth is, I do not think that everybody is bestowed with a lot of common sense. It's not to insult people, but people should realize that other than the Nigerian army, the DSS, the police, the NSCDC, whatever it is, that's the Nigerian apparatus. We know that the Nigerian Navy, the Air Force, and all that, everybody's going to be on ground. Other than that, we know that I was reading that there are about over 100 heads of states that were invited to this. As we speak, the U.S. delegation to Nigeria has already arrived. There's going to be a lot of internal and external security.
Yes.
All these presidents too are also
at the highest level.
All of them too are also going to bring, from the US to I can bet it with you that the UK is going to bring their own delegation. You know that there's so many other security agencies other than the Nigerian one that is going to, from now on, you can imagine, you do any nonsense in Abuja right now, you are like booted out, and that's the honest truth. So like I said, I do not think that is everybody. I will not want to assume that is everybody that will decide to have common sense. But just putting it out there, avail yourself a bit of common sense.
you know, there's a funny trend that has been going on.
Just try.
There's a funny trend that has been going on social media. So you know how the police have a band. There's a Navy band. I don't know if the Air Force have theirs, but I know that there's the Army band. And they have different types of bands. Like, you know, they have the bands. So there's a Nigerian Army band that actually plays Fuji and Juju music.
Yeah.
Do you get? And so I don't know where APC people got this video from, but the Nigerian Army band, the lead singer of that band, there's a part where he say that that they have guns. Any child that doesn't, you know, anybody that doesn't behave, they're going to deal. That guns are meant for people. And
yeah. I'm just telling people, respect yourself. That's all. I'm not saying that the courts cannot do whatever. But as of today, we don't know what the court will say tomorrow. If the court does not sack Bola Tinubu and Shettima tomorrow, respect yourself.
You know,
if you have no business in Abuja, or better still, in and around the environs of the Eagle Square. Respect
someone that lives
someone
that lives in Abuja made a video on Monday and said, this is why they didn't want APC to win. Let me just say it the way the person said. This is why they didn't want Tinubu to win. Lagos people, what's happening now?
Traffic.
And the picture was traffic.
It's gonna be, if you do not have room to sleep, if you have plans of going to Abuja and you don't have room to sleep yet, forget it.
Where do you want to see the room?
Forget it. Just let it go. Do you understand? I really, really honestly think that people should just have sense, please. Like, don't let's cause so much drama that will land you in unnecessary jail. Very unnecessary. Because the worst part is that a lot of people that even sponsor this violence, they don't even live in Nigeria. Please, let's just have sense. Thank you very much. From a young child to another young person, please, let's just have sense. Thank you. God bless us all. So, welcome to my TED Talk, or thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Coming back, still talking about the issue of inauguration. So, the president-elect, while getting his national honors today, had a few things to say in his speech, and there was one that jumped out to me and said that he was thanking President Muhammadu Buhari for designating June 12 as Democracy Day.
Yeah. As
that's probably one of the toughest decisions that the president had to take, and that also the fact that he also conferred posthumous GCFR on MKO Abiola. Yeah,
it's honor even in death for MKO Abiola. We all know the story of June 12, so we're not even going to delve into that today. But yeah, regardless of where you stand, at some point in time,
I think it was a huge thing. Nobody expected it coming from Buhari.
Yeah.
One was probably expecting it from maybe President Olusegun Obasanjo, who at that point, there's been a lot of talk of how there was his nomination and him becoming president was a lot of sentiment towards.
Yeah, like he more or less benefited from.
Yes, so
that's what people were saying.
And nobody.
Because if you look at the makeup, then the two major contestants in 1999 were from the Southwest, not just from the South, but from the Southwest. You know, it was like this unwritten agreement that in compensation for June 12. So yes, you're right that people expected that, but I think Obasanjo didn't feel that way.
There was a need for
people have always said that there was some kind of rivalry between them anyway. They're both Egba boys and all of that. They're all from that Abeokuta axis.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw it coming from President Buhari. It was. I think it was a very good thing.
Obasanjo doing it would probably never have happened because a lot of people just felt that it was not going to happen.
It was never going to happen.
Obasanjo probably. There's a quote, a direct quote that Obasanjo had made when MK was contesting that MK is not the Messiah. He made a quote like that. He made a statement like that. Do you understand? So of course it would have been difficult for people to expect him to be the one to to put that
to
crowning
do that.
glory.
I think that he honestly would have put him in a very good stead, but he didn't do it, and nobody else did it until President Buhari did it. I think that it is in fact, a lot of people have been saying that this Tinubu emerging as the president now is real like compensation finally for June 12th. But in my mind, I'm like, Obasanjo was someone from the southwest, even from the same state as him.
A lot of people would disagree with you.
I know, but when people have that conversation, I'm like that. You people are making it seem like he's the first Yoruba man to be president since 1999.
That's what a lot of people believe.
So Olusegun Obasanjo is the
not since 99, since Shonekan was interim head for a few months. I'm not going to speak for them, please.
Wait. I'm just saying, if I remember properly.
That's what?
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo
Matthew Okikiola
is from Ogun State, specifically the Egba side of Ogun State.
Okay.
What's the okay for?
I agree with you.
No, that's not you agreeing. I know when you agree with something. But anyway, it's obvious.
Someone to put me in trouble.
Anyway, still talking about the inauguration. Now tomorrow there is, I think, is it today or tomorrow that there's going to be? I think there's going to be a concert.
The renewed Hope concert being organized by the youth wing of the APC, actually led majorly by the son of the president-elect, Tinubu, is also working in tandem with the youth leader, Israel. What's his name again now?
Yeah, Dayo
Israel, and a couple of other youth leaders, including the governor of Kogi State, who was there they're using the velodrome at the National Stadium in Abuja, the MKO Stadium in Abuja. And of course, they've been setting up for days now. I've been observing and watching on social media. The stage was ready yesterday. They did their sound checks yesterday. And the strange thing about this concert for me, as a media practitioner, is how we don't know who's performing.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Normally, when you sell a concert, you say, oh, you see,
I've been seeing talks about how there's going to be a surprise, no matter the kind of people that. But anyway,
if the concert is about music, what if you bring a juju artist, and I don't like juju music, or you bring someone that sings in Igbo and Hausa?
They're
and
not
I don't,
looking for you.
That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking for a lot of people actually, that concerts are not shrouded in secrecy. I think they might know what they're doing, but it is showing that they might have issues with a list of a list of right?
Yeah, no, take it off. No. So maybe you're saying that they have issues with some of the.
They might have issues. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They might have issues.
Yeah. Please rearrange it before I turn it off. So yeah, they might have issues with the kind of people. No, yeah, I think it's from the cable. They might have issues with the kind of people that they're maybe not. Maybe they just want to make it a surprise. Whatever it is, not like I'm in Abuja anyway, so. Not that, yes. So maybe not. We'll see. We'll see that. Still talking about that. Still tomorrow too, there is going to be a biopic of President-elect Bola Tinubu that is also going to be aired at the Nigerian Air Force Conference Center tomorrow. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff. People should just have common sense. Respect yourself. If you have invites for these things, please go and just go nicely, like a nice what's it called. Now still talking about what President Buhari had done, or the few things that had happened. There is a very interesting conversation that is happening, and this is from a very popular person. I think even he was really popular at he became really, really popular, not like he was not popular before though, during the 2019 elections. And this 2023, oh God, there were just a lot about him. And this is, in fact, he was not even popular for him being the minister. It was popular for him being part of the Presidential Campaign Council of President Buhari, and also of President-elect Bola Tinubu. And then I'm talking about Festus Keyamo. So yesterday, we know that there was a valedictory Federal Executive Council meeting that held at the council chambers yesterday. And of course, every single person had to have like a parting remarks. Now, during his parting remarks, he said that there is a thing that he said about how a lot of people have been talking about it for years, but they don't want to seem like they're ungrateful to the principal. Not specifically President Buhari, but across board. And it is the issue of ministers of state. According to him, we know that he is a senior advocate of Nigeria. According to him, he said that it is unconstitutional. There's really nothing like ministers of state. In fact, he says that when you are nominated, you then you go through series of seminars and trainings. Everybody goes through the same thing. Nobody is told you're this or you're that. Then you go for screening in the National Assembly. You go to screen, and you are screened as a minister, not as a minister of state. Only for designations to come out, and some people are put as ministers of state. And that the point of being a minister in the first place is when you are you're supposed to be a representative of your state. So how is it that some states get to be subject to the whims and caprices of somebody else that is supposed to be like the senior minister?
Yeah. Yes, it has generated a lot of discourse.
Yeah.
And I know there was a lawyer, you know him, Joe Abba.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer now, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And he was initially tweeted like, you should have refused to partake in a constitutional aberration. You get?
Yeah.
I think that response from him was what first hit him. That was Joe Abba felt, let me just,
Yeah.
But in all seriously though, let's look at the issues raised by Festus Keyamo, SAN. He is reported to have said that the Minister of State position is a, like you said, redundant position, and suggests it may be constitutional aberration. Let's explore the issues. He said the problem starts with, please indulge me for a few seconds.
Please go ahead.
Section 147, subsection 3 of the Constitution, that says that the president must appoint at least one minister from each of the 36 states. Please note that he could appoint 72 if he wanted.
Yeah.
He could do whatever numbers. I'm just paraphrasing what Joe Abba said. So if the president wanted fewer ministries, let's say for instance 24, which is the discussion we're having off air, is he going to appoint only 24 from 24 states? Do you understand? He needs to create another 12
that would
under secretaries or junior ministers, so that's how they came up with this situation. You get? Yeah, you can't say you have a minister from 24 states and 12 states don't have ministers. They can go to court. They can really fight you because the Constitution is clear about it. Until you go back to change that Constitution to say.
But at this point too, they can actually go to court and tell you that there's nothing like Minister of State.
Let them do that. Until they do that, and then the court now interprets a Minister of State as not being a minister. Because he is a minister. Because they said he's a Minister of State does not mean he's not a minister. And the Constitution says employ 36 ministers. Appoint
But
36
that is
ministers.
What
appoint 36.
Festus Keyamo is talking about.
You know?
That how come some states get senior ministers, and then some states will get junior ministers.
The constitution did not say anything about senior or junior.
Exactly, that's the point.
So as long as they are ministers, it doesn't matter. What really should matter? I like the fact that Keyamo has raised this.
Yeah.
But what should matter is a government that is being set up solely to deliver on election promises. As a president, as a governor, as a chairman of a local government, you need a cabinet to function optimally for you to deliver on, because one man cannot do it or one woman cannot do it. So for me, I get the technical or tactical things that he has raised, about the efficacy of a minister of state. But again, it's usually down to the president, the way he sets up.
But if they're not useful to you,
it's usually down to the way the president sets up. And again, the kind of interpersonal relationships and management skills of all the ministers. Now, take Keyamo, for instance. In the last 4 years, when Buhari won his re-election and Keyamo went for his clearance at the House of Assembly, we all watched it and monitored it.
Everybody thought it was going to be Minister of Justice.
People said that if he was not Minister of Justice, it was going to be Minister of the Niger Delta.
Yeah.
Or Minister of Sports, Youth and Sports, being a young person and all of that. And he ended up where?
I think it was Minister of State for Niger Delta.
State.
Then they moved him to Labor and Employment.
Do you understand? And that shows you that maybe that's what informs his own utterance now, that maybe Keyamo feels that he would have functioned better as a full minister in charge of an entire ministry. Now, how these things should work is that a minister, say minister for labor, you look at all the parastatals under you. You look at all the functions of your ministry and you share it and say, okay, dear Minister of State, you will be majorly in charge of it. You report to me, but you'll be, do you understand? And again, the president can actually forestall that by asking, Minister of State, you report to me. Minister of the main minister or whatever, you report to me too. Do you get? Yeah. So either way, it's about management. That what style of management did Buhari himself employ to or deploy?
I honestly think that a bit of his managerial skills were a bit off. Why? Because over the past 4-8 years, we saw a few ministries and parastatals under them or agencies under them, and then them having a lot of infighting, especially now carrying that infighting to social media. I think was even the most embarrassing of it. We saw a lot of those things happen.
We did. For instance, you cannot forget the incident where Apike Dabiri's parastatal was, and the minister was given a building by the government as office, and another minister said it wasn't supposed to be, or the friction between in the Ministry of Finance,
or the one with Night Post and FIRS.
What about transportation, Amechi and the MPA?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So of course, but I look at those things generally as teething problems. I look at them.
No, I didn't have a problem with the fact that there will be conflict. I had a problem with the fact that you find better ways to deal with your issues.
Have you forgotten when police and army were fighting on Twitter? Nigerian police. Have you forgotten?
Oh my God. I felt that those things should have been nipped in the bud. Whatever it is that you want to do, don't put it out in public.
I don't know what your next story is, but there's something that I was hoping you were going to bring early enough.
Okay.
World famous gubernatorial candidate of Labour Party in Oyo State. He dropped.
Oh yeah.
He dropped.
Oh yeah.
He dropped
did.
something big.
He did.
I'm waiting for the look what to bring it up.
You know that conversation. I just wanted to get over with President Buhari and the president.
I don't want it to get caught up
that conversation. I'm still talking quickly before we go on to what you had talked about. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika. We know there's still ministers as President Buhari refused to.
Oh, he said they're not shutting down until the last day.
The last day. So There's a conversation of how it's saying that Nigerian airplane is supposed to arrive ahead of commencement of operations. I also saw how airline operators are coming out to say that he's not allowed to do that because there is a court judgment that is barring the Nigerian air from starting operations and all that. And then part of me feels like we don't want some things. Like how do you expect to start something that's supposed to benefit, and it's us Nigerians that are actually taking things to court to actually stop it? I don't understand what's happening there. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there. Quickly, before we still go back to that, there's a very interesting story that I think that it is amazing. It's something we have been talking about over and over again. Now, this is from the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. I think that whatever it is you want to say, I think this is one of Buhari's best appointments. Issa Pantami. There's been a lot of controversy around him, but I think that he's done a lot.
I must say this because it's for posterity and for clearing the air. I think when he was way younger, he was a hothead and he had said some things and done some fanatical things, yeah? But if you're talking about Issa Pantami as a minister in the role that he was appointed for, I score him well over 80% in the things that he was able to achieve. And you see, the sad part is that we're not able to remove sentiments from what we do. And I can. I think this guy was amazing.
Yeah, I think he's one of
the reasons why people started talking about ministries being shut down was that he actually moved his personal effects.
That he had moved his personal effects.
I would do the same. Do you understand? Now, do you know the funny thing? His name has been popping up as being someone that might even continue
come back as a minister. I think it would not be a bad idea at all. And why I mentioned him is that there's not been an announcement that they're now asked Nigerian citizens to ask their banks for an NIN card. Now, we're asking that you can now ask your bank for an ATM card, and that ATM card would now also have your national identity card. Remember that we've had these conversations over and over and over again. Data. I am actually very, very happy about it. I would love to go and ask my bank.
Yeah.
So the issue for me is that now the way we used to misplace ATMs and just block, it's going to be very difficult now. I think that people need to guard your card jealously.
Well, again, everything that has a plus has a minus. Every single thing in the world. But what we can do is that they should have created also the ability for you to do things via your phone. Do you get, like, excuse me, you should be able to quickly, like, you can block your ATM card when it goes missing via your phone. You can do the same with your phone. I think there should just be ways.
No, I'm saying, I'm just saying that with that card, is there a possibility of having a lot more information on the card already?
Well, I don't know until we
see
find
one,
the final details.
But I think it is a very, very fantastic idea.
We've always been of the opinion that data is shared. Like if you have gathered data from the banks, from immigration, and everything is in a central place,
why I even
then
think
you can
that
do
this
all of
is
these
even
things.
Smart is that if we say that NIMC should provide cards for every single person, it's going to be cumbersome.
Yeah.
So let's banks that we have all over the place, let them. It's a way of decentralizing this thing.
The thing is, again,
it just makes life easy.
They will still get some kind of income.
Yeah, it just makes life easy instead of everybody. Remember the NIN and everybody going to queue
if you check
and
your,
all that.
If you check your NIN via the short code, you pay for it.
Yeah.
Every time you try to do hashtag something. So it's another form of income for them.
It is another form of income.
But decentralization of this process really makes sense. So hopefully, and again, there talks about how banks are also expected now to also issue debit cards now, because what we have are more, they're not really.
No, they're debit cards.
They want them to issue credit cards. Because what we have are debit cards. It's just you taking money out of your account. But they want a situation where you can borrow money now. You know, at least there will be a cap, and it will be based on what you earn and your credit rating.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Now, quickly, also from the Ministry of Communication, there's also now developed a website that they're going to track project execution. Makes sense.
Some people have already been doing it. A big shout out to, I think it's Tracker NG and some one or two other
I know that,
platforms like that.
when they were building the second Niger bridge, there was actually a website where you could check.
Oh, they had to stream that because
work was
they were doubting Thomas everywhere.
Work was going on. Talking about the second Niger bridge, IPOB had something to say, talking about how the second Niger bridge should be named. They were talking to Southeast governors that it should be named after an Igbo man, not President Buhari. I just have one question. Where were your Igbo brothers when you were building it?
My own response to IPOB saying that the bridge should be named after an Igbo person is
that built it.
That the the fourth mainland bridge is named after Muhammadu Buhari. It's actually Muhammadu Buhari Boulevard. It's IBB Boulevard.
The third
I said fourth, third mainland bridge. That's the name. And it's not a Yoruba person.
Exactly.
So let's not bring tribe into everything. In naming infrastructure, a lot of things are taken into cognizance. I don't think
I'm not sure a lot of people are even going to call it Buhari Bridge, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you can name it officially. Look around you. Kara Bridge is not Kara Bridge on the Ibadan. That's not what government calls it. Or Tedela Bridge, everybody says that's not the name.
Yes, there's an estate beside it. That's why it's called
Long Bridge.
Long Bridge. I'm sure it has a name.
We just started calling it because the bridge was longer than Kara. Do you understand?
Exactly. Let's
Nigerians at the end of the day waiting concern them. Even there are roads that have been renamed. Ikorodu Road. People are still calling it Ikorodu Road. The one from Ojuelegba to Costain. It's supposed to be Funshaw Williams. They are still calling it Western Avenue.
If you like, stop a bus and say, I'm going to
Funshaw Williams.
You'll be there.
In Ikoyi, Alfred Rewani, people are still calling it Kingsway Road.
You will sleep there. Just wanted to put it.
Nigerians are stubborn. Don't worry. They will still call it second Niger Bridge.
Second Niger Bridge, really.
Nigerians will call it.
Honestly, even if you call it Buhari Bridge, I'm not sure that's the first thing that will come to my mind.
Sorry,
really,
Buhari.
let's be honest with ourselves. Now, let's quickly go to the gist that SR was saying. And this gist was where the former Labour Party gubernatorial candidate for Oyo State, who has now said that he has left the Labour Party officially, had now come out to put out some allegations talking about how President-elect was literally the one funding the Labour Party, how their former presidential candidate
or
aspirant was being paid by the president-elect to lure Peter Obi in just to break the ranks in the PDP.
So this story is gaining a lot of ground now on social media and everywhere. And for context, the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate had never really gotten along with the presidential candidate. We know that at some point in time, he said that the presidential candidate of the party came to Oyo State and didn't even seek him out or carry him along in any way. So a lot of people feel maybe he's just driven by some kind of bias or whatever. But take it out of that and remember when Governor Soludo, he's of Abuja.
There are a lot of people that have made this same
but I just wanted to quickly highlight Soludo when he said that Tinubu should even be paying Peter Obi because he's doing a lot of favor, but because they know that he can't win and he's only taking away Atiku's votes. Chimaroke Namani, I'd said quite a few about those kind of scenarios also. Last year, I think it was sometime around August or so, Reno or mockery.
Even accused Pat Utomi directly.
He went as far as saying that he knows for a fact that Utomi, had brought Peter Obi for this purpose and he was going to work against Atiku because whatever they do, they will be taking votes away from Atiku because Obi used to be Atiku's running mate and he's from the southeast. If all of these things keep reverberating. Isn't it time we actually looked at
They
it
say that
and
there's
check
really
it?
no smoke without fire.
Remember when Fashola was on TV before the elections and he was speaking to, maybe it was Shionwoki Baloye or so, Channels TV or so, and he said something like, look, they are playing politics of minus. There's another word for to minus now. Politics of depletion or something, and that the APC is playing politics of addition. That in the APC now, they have gotten this person on board, gotten that person on board. Some governors joined them. Remember how the governor of Ebonyi joined, governor of Zamfara joined, and all of that.
Yeah.
But in the PDP, they are losing governors. Then there's the G5.
There's the G5, yeah.
There's the G5.
No,
angle,
it's even just calculation
and
normally.
There's the Kwankwaso angle. Then there's the Peter Obi angle.
It was obvious because there was a lot of breaking and what's it called?
What that amounted to is more votes being shared.
Because the number of opposition votes are actually more than the presidential votes, like the one that the president-elect got.
If we go with the results that we have now, if Kwankwaso had stayed and delivered the same number of votes to
the
PDP, and the G5 had stayed and done their bit, I don't think Tinubu would have won.
I don't think so too.
You understand? That's like a 2 million vote somewhere.
I think that there's a lot of dynamics that should be, but that alone is enough to see that a lot of things.
But Professor Patutomi has responded.
He has responded. He's talking about how he's just going to ignore the conversation. Came up with some philosophical and say,
but
so
bros,
I ignore.
That's your tweet. Not say anything.
Anyway,
he didn't say anything.
Exactly my point. Like,
he didn't say anything.
It's not.
Oh, bros, daddy.
Let's
but we'll leave the matter.
We'll leave the matter. Another gist can come up, but we'll leave the matter for now.
It's okay.
Anyway, this Chief Justice of Nigeria has now sworn in 39 additional judges for election tribunals. Also, health workers all over the country have declared indefinite strike, and they're set to start their strike by midnight.
Perfect timing.
I really hope something is done quickly. Before that, at least ministers are still not on what's it called yet.
Perfect.
Quickly, also, Guinness World Record has now declared a Nigerian student as holder for most skips on one foot.
Yeah. Apart from Hilda Bass's massive groundswell of support and everything, there are a couple of young Nigerians who have made it into the Guinness Book of Records. There's a young man in Akure that did it.
Yeah, Philip Solomon, 17-year-old Philip Solomon is now the world record for the most skips on one foot.
Yeah. There's another story of another Guinness, multiple Guinness record holder
and I think that
who is now a mechanic.
People need to.
The guy has broken about 4
Guinness records and nobody heard anything about it. I think people also need to take, what I also think people need to take for into cognizance is that this particular one, he officially recorded 153 skips on one foot in 30 seconds to outdo the former, whose record was 145. Now, this was done as far back as January 24.
Yeah, I was following it then.
And it has just been
ratified,
announced.
Yes.
So people, Nigerian people, let's be calming down.
Again, quickly, let's just say something about how I feel that this calming down thing is important. So, there was an Indian lady who held the record that Hilda broke.
Yeah.
Until it's ratified, that lady's record stands. But Hilda is recognized at this point as, like a champion in waiting of sorts. Now, for the Liberian chef and the Cameroonian chef and the Kenyan chef and all those people that want to break the record, they have a right to.
Oh, they have a right to.
Nigerians need to chill.
Even if they break it 2 days after.
They have
the
a right
point is
to.
That at
this
the point where she will be, she will actually have broken someone else's record. So yes, she will still be a world record holder. But somebody is going to, at some point, break it. These things are meant to be broken.
It got so bad that the Indian
lady had to put out a statement.
This is not a competition.
People need to just
calm
down.
Nigerians, we need to chill.
Yeah.
And we don't own the right to that record. Even if you break it, even if it's ratified as a
bro-
world record,
somebody else is going to do it.
can break
Anybody
it.
can do it. Does that even mean that another Nigerian cannot even break that record as well? Just putting it out there, like, people just need to really, really calm down. And quickly, let's do a bit of sports. As Brighton yesterday decided to end Manchester City's winning run to secure the top 6 finish. The game ended 1-1 yesterday. It was Brighton, I would say, is one team this season that has took a lot of people by surprise. Taking everybody by surprise. Manchester United, Arsenal, Man City, taking everybody by surprise.
Yeah, if and only if they can continue like this in the same vein, in the same rich vein of form, in the same style that they play, they're actually a very good team.
Yeah, they're very close knit. If
they can continue like this, you see them doing great things a couple of seasons more. They're not going to be like a flash in the pan.
But the honest truth is that they need to work a lot, because every single season everybody sees what they are doing and where they are failed. And we're talking about it yesterday. It's the same way, if not that Arsenal dropped the ball at some point, Manchester City would not have. It would have, the title literally slipped off their hands at some point. So at every point in time, you should know that, okay, because of what you did last season, new season is a clean slate for everybody.
City on their own part, they're being complacent, like, we don't win. But I would have actually preferred a Brighton victory. That would have been really nice.
Yeah, I think, like you said, they've won the cup already, and then they have Champions League finals and FA Cup finals to win. I think that it was just okay for them to, let's just do whatever it is. Let's just do the barest minimum. Also, quickly, FIFA has now fined an Egyptian club $70,000, and they're supposed to pay this money to a Nigerian striker, a Junior Ajayi, who was at this Egyptian club, and basically was really treated badly at the club, and he decided to go and plead his case with FIFA.
Yeah.
And now FIFA has now asked the club to pay him $70,000. They have literally abandoned him after he got an injury in 2022, and that was it. Yeah,
Junior Ajayi, one of the players that we were looking up to, one of the guys that was going to come through the ranks like Osimhen and co. And he's a player that I know. You find that a lot of these guys, their careers are really not going great because of the abandonment by the clubs. And they are the breadwinners for their families. Even the $70,000 is nothing near, because by the time you look at the medical bills and stuff that he has to go through, you find that yes, 70,000 is just some kind of palliative, And of course, before you move to your next story, I also want to quickly talk about the legend that is Tina Turner.
Yeah.
83.
She was 83 when she died.
Yesterday.
She lived a very full life, though.
Yeah. And if you do a quick Google search, Google tells you Swiss singer. I'm like, oh, Swiss Bawu. Yeah, she spent the rest of her life in Switzerland, right? But she's African American, Tina Turner. Anna Mae Bullock was her real name. And we know how powerful she was. Every time I think about her, I cannot get my mind off what she went through, when she was married to Ike Turner, and the abuse and all sorts of things, and how she came out tops. Again, the queen of rock. There's no way you can take that away from her. The power in her voice, in her fashion style, Tina with the hair and all of that, the legs, you cannot take that away, and the songs and the beautiful strength in her voice, from the ballads, to the rock pieces, the up tempos and the mid tempos. Tina Turner definitely was it. And we're glad that she came through and she blessed us with her music. And I just want to chip in that, of course, on Boom Radio Sunday nights we always play a lot of songs that come from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s for you for 5 hours from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. I might be no Eja Apollo Oja. We have to sell our market.
Okay, quickly, just wanted to put this out there that the honorable minister, not the honorable, the House of Rep member that was accused of murder charges. I remember, in fact, was it last week or 2 weeks ago that a lot of people were talking about how he was vying for the position of speaker and how come he still has the murder charges over his head and all that. Now, as of today, the Kano court has now exonerated him of all murder charges, that the police do not have enough evidence to pin it on him.
Well, if this is justice, then we thank God for it, because I always believe that justice must be served and should be served. On his own part, he seems to have already lost out on his bid to become the Speaker of the House. There seems to be a movement amongst his party. They've, queued up behind Tijani Abbas. It looks like that's going to be the Speaker if everything goes according to their plans. And speaking about speakers, I like what I did there. The Deputy Speaker, current, and the Speaker yesterday, I was watching a video, and I'm like, wait,
what's happening here?
What's going on? What's really going on here? And Honorable Wash say, come on. It's very unnecessary.
Yeah.
Very unnecessary.
Suddenly just want to know that you have a duty today, or basically, what's today? Thursday? Yeah, it was basically 2 days because they don't sit at weekends.
Yeah.
2 days to the end of your tenure. Let's move on to something else. Anyway, on that note, that is all we're able to take today on the Boombar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Oh, sorry, before I go, actually, shout out to Flying Eagles. They have now moved to the round of 16 at the under 20 World Cup.
Yeah,
they defeated Italy. So they're very, very, very interesting. I think they're going to be missing Brazil next. Shout out to them. All the best. Good luck in everything that you do. So on that note, have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead. We'll be back again tomorrow to give you another wonderful edition of the Bar.